definitely as good as any of the top players on this tour.
Ball in hand from Paul.
Bit unlucky there on the break with the cue ball. He's catched a couple of balls to go in the corner pocket there.
Time running.
Not what Callum wanted. Very unfortunate. Yeah, I can see that. So 50 minutes on the match clock. Race to 8 frames. Chris Melling with the first opportunity.
Yellow ball's in. Touching ball.
These are about as easy as they come as well to start off with in the first frame. All lined up in the centre of the table as well.
Yeah. Did you see much of Chris's match? I'm guessing you didn't, because it was probably not what you wanted to be.
I didn't. Obviously, I heard he was 7-2 up, and then apparently he did have a few chances to win and something like that.
Yeah, a bunch. Yeah, probably 4 or 5 chances to win from 7-2, and some of them were sort of quite gilt-edged chances, and just couldn't get over the line, and eventually had to do it via a 6-red shootout. Good enough to do that, though. It's been a strange performance from Chris throughout the weekend. From every time I've seen him, it's almost like he's turned up, put together an awful lot of highlight reel shots, but also a few strange ones mixed in. I think he probably played better last time we were here in Blackpool, and not that he's playing bad here, he's still playing a ridiculous level here, but it was just a little bit more clinical and clean last time we were here in Blackpool, and 2 deep runs without getting his hands on the title, whereas this time a little bit more hot and cold. I think he's almost kind of impressed himself with some of the finishes he's made, but also a few little errors in that semi-final that will irritate him.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you can turn up to these weekends and not do a lot wrong, and you can lose 2 first rounds, but sometimes you can turn up and maybe there's a couple of matches that you should maybe go out on and you stay in, and maybe that's what he's doing this weekend.
Well, he's got off to a nice start here. I think that Callum could do. Unfortunate on the break. I'll have to sit and watch Chris's break, see what that's like in this match.
Is he still going for the a bit of topspin on the break, or is he?
Yeah, it's such a hard shot to get right. I mean, sometimes it comes back, tops forward and stops dead, and sometimes he gets a shade too much and it runs a little bit loose. Brings in the middle pockets into play for me. There you go, that was the perfect one. Right up to the middle of the table, stopped, and then was just going to come forward a couple of rolls.
I think the only thing I'd say with that break, and not to say that I know everything about breaking, but I think if you put topspin on the break, I would say you lose a little bit of power.
Yeah, that's why I've always kind of felt the same. I guess he's got power to spare.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
It's been that break for a couple of months now.
I think when I first seen him start doing it, it maybe wasn't really working how you'd imagine it to, but that was a brilliant break there. And again, another easy finish, really, not a lot of work to do, and I mean, that's a perfect start for the final for him. Best angle on this last red, I think he's a bit straight and possibly might have to play the black into the centre now.
Yeah, nicely on it though. Reverse clearance, break clearance. Chris Melling is up and running. 2-0 very quickly. He is eyeing up his 4th title with Ultimate Pool. He'd join Shane Thompson on 4. It would be a 2nd Pro Series title to go with his Champions League and Champion of Champions. It also, well, it won't make a difference actually whether he wins this match or not, but he is going to go to the top of the rankings as well, be the #1 player for the first time. Leapfrogging Mick Hill and Tom Cousins. And that will happen regardless of the result here. Just needed to make the final for that to happen. A couple of early exits for Mick Hill. Actually, a couple of early exits for consecutive tournaments for Mick Hill. That's 2 Pro Series, four times on the trot. This time Callum makes a ball and keeps the cue ball on the table.
Yeah, and you see here all the balls have gone to the left hand side of the table, and that's quite noticeable sometimes with a cup break. Not something that was happening when I played him in the semis though. But to be honest, I mean, there's still a good chance in the reds.
I interviewed him after one of his wins earlier on the tournament. He just said the cut break's just really working well for him. He's making a ball nearly every time. And I guess that's all you want really. Sometimes they might come out a little bit messier, but you're the one that gets to control the frame then. Yeah,
I was talking to him earlier about it, and because I was watching a couple of his games earlier on during the week, and he was doing the front ball break, and yeah, obviously he's played against me and he was doing a cup break, so I asked him after, and he was saying like he was just wasn't putting a ball regular enough. But the cup break's something he practices as well, and I was saying like, you know, there's probably times when I could do with swapping to a different break, but I only really know one break, so.
Yeah, I do think it's important to have a variety, although it depends on what that variety is. Some players will change from the front ball to side ball to some players, like take Gareth Potts for example. His change is so subtle that you'd barely notice it. It might be moving a ball an inch, or it might be how he strikes the ball, his sort of feeling on the break more than actually anything else. Still a little bit tricky here.
Yeah, I think he's got 2 options. Either he can stun into the red and hope he develops it, or possibly run off the cushion.
That will do. Nice. Oh, it just rolled that extra roll. Thought that was going to stop and be on.
Yeah, not sure if he could have run off the cushion there and possibly knocked the red into the centre of the table rather than hoping it come out of them 2 yellows.
Attention, Callum.
Really tall order to make that one. So first chance goes. It was a messy chance though for Callum.
Yeah, I think for Callum there, the first shot he played in that visit, where he had the red at the top of the table, and he screwed down the table, and he wanted to be on that red into the centre pocket to then develop his ball, but because he didn't get on it first shot, that meant he's had to pot a couple of easy balls, and by the time he got back on it again, he only had that ball to land on, the one he was breaking into, and that obviously made it a little bit trickier, relying on a bit of luck. That's where he broke down in the end.
No thoughts of Chris potting that ball. It was just a safety shot. Now Chris can go. Be tempted to play the gap, and rather than the plant could go a little bit funky if you.
Yeah, I think he'll be leaving the yellow in between the yellow and the black to the top left pocket. There's no need to risk a plant there. You would have liked to have the angle the other way though, because you'd have probably wanted to land on the yellow to the left middle after it, and I think that's why he's choosing to come down to these 2 yellows first. This time he might play it because he can just softly cannon that other yellow just a bit closer to the pocket. I think he tried to knock that in as well and land on the last yellow. It's a little bit risky.
Yeah, if it had dropped, he's got the perfect angle on it, but yeah.
Yeah, I thought he could have played that a little bit softer and just nudged it over the pocket.
Chris is flying through it. Callum had his chance there. Wasn't able to take it. It was tricky, but 2-0 down against Chris Melling. Not the sort of opportunity you would have wanted, but feels he needs it to get going. And now it's 3-0 and Chris's break as well.
Yeah, and he hit his first break very well as well, so Callum will be faring the worst as well, even for this next frame.
Has to be patient. I mean, if he wants any recent memory on turnarounds, he knows that Chris Melling was 7-2 up in his semi-final and was pegged all the way back to 7-7, so just has to wait and take the next opportunity that comes his way. Hope to build on it from there, even if it is at 4-0. But with Chris's break, it could well be. When we came here today at the last 16 stage, Chris was the only former Pro Series champion left in the field. Also had Jordan, who was the Pro Cup champion, as one of the other players in the field. Aaron, how aware of that were you, and did it give you any different vibes in terms of potentials? You know, if you're thinking it, maybe Callum would have been thinking it.
Yeah, I mean, it does a little bit, to be honest. It depends on what sort of player you are, because some players tend to they study the draw and see who they could possibly play, and then you get other players that they just like to know who they're playing next, and they don't even look at the draw. They don't want to know about it. But yeah, I did have a look at the draw, and you know, sometimes you think, oh, such a body's out, and cause obviously I know Cousins was playing really well. He won the first event, and you think, oh, Cousins is out, and yeah, you do have a look at it, and yeah, it's definitely something I spotted.
Yeah, there's quite a lot of. They're not shocks. That's the point I'm trying to make, is they're not shocks, but the tournament winners, the ones at the top of the rankings, had all sort of fallen away, apart from Chris Melling and Jordan Shepherd. Talking about who looks at draws and stuff, there's one player in the field that never used to actually not even know until he turned up to his table who he was playing. Jimmy Carney used to get his friends to tell him what time he was on and where he was playing, and wouldn't know who he was playing till he got there. Yeah,
and I know from playing the England team with Dave Fernandez, he does that. Yeah. So when we go to the tournaments, he hates it if somebody tells him who he's playing or who he could play. He likes to just get on with it, and he literally just turns up to the table sometimes, and he doesn't even know who's going to be playing.
Yeah, hard to do though. I think hard to actually manage to keep it away, but Jimmy doesn't do that anymore. I'm sure he doesn't study the draws either. So dry break from Chris on this occasion, and Callum gets another opportunity. Does the 8-ball squeeze past that red? It's a tricky one. Got the yellow at the top of the table as well.
Not really got a great angle on any yellow here. I'm assuming his plan was to develop his bad yellow on this shot. He's a little bit straight on the one to the right corner, and also a bit straight on the one to the centre.
So tried to get a better angle. Shake of the head, he's not happy.
Yeah, I think the problem here is he can't really hit it with too much pace because he's got a little bit too much angle. If he hits it with any pace, the white's going to throw out to the left and he won't cannon into the red. That's why he's played it soft, but that was a brilliant shot.
Yeah, and he played it on the straight side of the pocket as well. Now attention will turn to this 8-ball.
Yeah, and to be honest, looking at this camera angle, I don't think the 8-ball goes, and if it does, I mean, you'd probably have to be pocket weight, and I think it'd still be flicking the red on the way through.
And it's not one of those that you sort of get the idea that it will sort of squeeze in off the red. Oh, switch of hands. Oh, if he flicks the 8 before, I was about thinking if he flicked the red in, it would work well. Well, it definitely doesn't go now.
I mean, he must have been doing a little bit of practice with his other hand to swap there, because I know I wouldn't be doing that.
No. It's either that or that's how anti the rest he is.
No, this is a brilliant shot.
Really well. Too well.
Something I noticed in my semi-final, because I missed a couple of these, is the doubles. When the ball's close to the cushion, it really straightens up. Just something he needs to be wary of here.
Oh, it's squeezed out, double kissed. Yeah, normally you're very good at doubles, and you sort of missed a key one late on. Yeah,
it just really caught me out. I mean, I've missed a double towards the end of the game, and they're coming off very straight when they're near the cushion, and I even aimed thinner than what I thought anyway, and I still missed it thick. So it does just show it seems very strange to me.
Well, Callum, goes without saying here, is in a world of hurt. What's he going to do? Well, it's just going to get into it, try and hit the 8-ball. But it was a tall order, but it's still really messy for Chris. But sort of, how long does he want to wait before he tries to open everything up?
Yeah, I mean, the only way you can win this frame for me now is if Melling goes for the finish and doesn't get it.
Sort of situation where Chris would love there to be some sort of like 3-foul rule.
To be honest though, I mean, this is good for Chris because with his 3-0 lead already and probably 4-0, he's going to run some clock down as well now.
I completely agree. I just don't think Chris will even give that a second thought. He's thinking if he wins, if he gets to 8, there'll be 20 minutes on the clock.
Yeah, not saying he's thinking that, but
yeah,
it's something.
Certainly is to his advantage, yeah. I think it might be worth him just coming to the left-hand side and just opening them up a little bit and laying another snooker. Very rare situation, this.
Yes, I think he's just trying to put this red near the right corner.
Doesn't want to pot it.
Yeah, because what this does is when he does decide to develop these reds, he has a ball that he can land on.
Good hit this time. Well, that just opens up a little bit more for Chris. Actually helps Chris there. Come on then, Callum, get out of this one. We're going to telestrator here, get you drawing some lines, Darren. This is a tough hit.
I mean, I'm not even sure if Chris knows how to get out of this one. Yeah, this is virtually impossible, isn't it? Ooh.
I tried to use the jaw. Clever. He actually wasn't too far away, but I mean, this must be torture for Callum because he's thinking, I'm going to lose this frame at some point. Tell you what, 3-0 down, you just want this frame over. He'll feel in his mind he's almost certain to go 4-0 and he just wants it over. Leave as much time on that clock as possible. I think he should be going now.
Oh, I didn't think he needed to play any sort of shot like that. I don't know if he could have just dropped that one in and just held the white on that red, and he would have left the red that's next to the 8-ball.
Yeah, take that one and then leave the one top right as your last ball. Everything's open. Yeah,
Callum won't be able to believe he's landed here.
Cushion first, just to spin the cue ball away. It's landed nicely for him.
Yeah, he played that cushion first because if he'd have just gone directly for that pot and missed it, he would have left Callum a chance at cutting the 8-ball in.
Took a little bit of working out as the balls were so congested for Chris Melling, but never really seemed in doubt that he was going to win the frame. Just got a bit of the clock used up, and it is 4-0. He is halfway to the title. Looks like he's just going to pop out the arena as well. Both players are out the arena. What can Callum do here? I mean, I guess you can't really... Something really to change up here for Callum. He just needs an opportunity he can take. The 2 chances he's had have both been really tricky.
Yeah, I think if I'm Callum now, I know Chris is 4-0 up and he has done four finishes, but he's not really done what I would say anything like spectacular yet. I don't think most of the finishes were relatively straightforward, and there was still a few iffy positional shots in there as well, and obviously he's got the finishes, but they were quite easy. That's just what I'd be thinking if I was sat where Callum is now.
Yeah, just needs to get his first one on the board and try and gain some momentum, a foothold in the match. Chris still needs 4 frames. It's not like he's on the edge of victory. It's still a long way to go. Still a decent enough amount of the clock left. It's been a good weekend here. 4 long days of action, with the Pro Series expanding to 96 pros. Extra day, a lot more games. That's been really good, and it's been great to see some of the new professionals trying to fight their way through the field. But it was the established Tom Cousins' 3rd title in 6 weeks that took down the first one. Could well be Chris here for his 4th title with Ultimate Pool this time. So even with all the different results, all the early exits for some of the favourites for the tournament, we could end up with 2 familiar winners.
Barely 4 frames, isn't it?
That's the cue ball.
Yellow ball's in play.
It's another one where there is work. That yellow, well, there isn't too much actually if that yellow does pass the bottom left-hand corner. This might be the chance he's been looking for.
Yeah, I think all the balls go, and he's going to be looking to play these 3 in the bottom half of the table first, and then working his way to the top of the table, and he's probably going to leave the ball over the right corner as his last ball down this end of the table, and try to get straight onto the one on the top cushion at the top of the table after it, which would then leave the yellow to the left middle for the black. So the key shot's going to be coming from this bottom half of the table to the top.
Key shot coming up then.
He's left himself really nice on this as well.
That's very nice. Lovely control. And first frame on the board for Callum. He needed that lovely break clearance. Gets himself going. Half an hour still left in this match. 3 behind now.
Yeah, and he'll be even more happy that he had perfect control of the cue ball on every shot there as well. Nothing ever looked like going wrong.
Yeah, he knows he's playing well. Don't get through to this stage without playing well. So good control there. Good frame, good break clearance. He needs some help from Chris now to get some chances off his break, but I'll be pleased he's taken the first one. That frame won't make any difference to Chris. Opponent's break clearing against you is part and parcel of elite level pool.
Next frame, Chris Melling to break. Leading 4 frames to 1.
Might be dry. It is dry. We might be seeing a twist here. Yeah, knowing nod from Chris. What's the layout like here for Callum though to go back to back?
Red ball's in play.
One red on the right side, just near where he is now. One above the 8 ball. That's his work.
Yeah, I think the red above the 8 ball will go into the left corner once he pots the one nearest to the pocket before it. I mean, I'm possibly considering taking this red now to the top right corner as well, because there's not really an easy way to develop it, and he could have been much better on it as well now.
I guess the only other way would be the double, but I can argue this is about the same level. Yeah, very good. Especially where these pockets just play generous on the near side.
Yeah, because he could play it at a soft weight as well, which is what you would have wanted to be doing.
So if that red above the 8 ball does go through the gap, which I agree with you, I think it does, then these are wide open.
Yeah, so if it does, he'll be playing the 2 at the bottom of the table.
Oh, it clearly goes. You can see that there. Well, that's not the best if he was trying to play on the one on the bottom right.
Yeah, he definitely was playing for that. There's no way he would have wanted to take this to the top left now. Because now, that ball over the bottom right is going to have to be his last ball, and I don't think it would have wanted to be. Just a little bit thin on this red now. If he's a bit straighter, he could have ran a bit closer to this red near the 8 ball, and
oh, he's going to snooker himself. Oh.
yeah, I think because he's left himself a bit thin, he's just concentrated a little bit too much on the pot and maybe not put a bit more left hand side on the shot.
Quite a big bend here. Yeah, tough. That's very tough. So that was actually a really good chance once he made that ball to the top right-hand corner. Callum will be very disappointed with that. Do you think for Chris here, straight loss a turn, or maybe try and play the combination shot at the same time as hiding the white?
Yeah, he'll be going for both shots here. He'll be trying to get the combination, but if he doesn't get it, the white's going to be safe enough.
Oh, he was expecting it to fall. They got it moving, but it doesn't drop, but does get the cover with the cue ball.
I think the only shot he's got here is to hit the right hand side rail with a lot of screw to try and straighten up the white of the cushion, because one of the yellows is in the path of where the cue ball would be going naturally.
Is that shot on these slidey tables?
Foul.
It is, yeah, but you've just got to, you have to hit it even better than you would do on a normal table.
Ball in hand.
Sort of trick shot on the sort of club tables that sort of fairly routine, but yeah. Well, ball in hand for Chris. Should be a pretty quick run to 5-1.
Yeah, and Chris has really not had much work to do here, has he? Because every single frame that he's won has been quite an easy finish.
Yeah, I mean, hasn't had too much to do. The opening 2 frames both off the break, but both fairly comfortable. And picked off Callum a few times since. Although that's not Chris's best shot, he'll be disgusted with that. Might have to pull out another safety.
I think possibly he might try to pot this yellow off the 8 ball into the left corner, maybe. If not, it's going to be a safety.
And he's absolutely disgusted with himself. I don't know if he got poor contact. There just no reaction off the ball at all. I'm guessing he was trying to screw it back quite a bit further.
Yeah, he's looking at it off the 8 ball, but I think he's going to choose to play safe.
Yeah, good control from Chris. When I say control, I mean control in terms of controlling his natural instinct to want to come up with something incredible.
Yeah, Chris should get this shot, but it's something to do.
Yeah, I think maybe stood up on it because, like you say, it was a comfortable shot, but just had to be careful, and he knew he was leaving the red on. Just got to make sure. Well, as we tick over the halfway point on the match clock, Chris ticks over the halfway point on the scoreboard. 5 frames to 1, 3 frames away from a 4th title with Ultimate Pool, 2nd Pro Series title. Tough one, that one, for Callum. Tricky finishes in the first 4 frames, the couple he took on, but that one he will feel like he should have got. And that was an opportunity for 4-2 and his break. Now he has it all to do once again.
Yeah, I think that's a couple of finishes he's missed there. So 2 of the finishes he's missed. I think early on in the finish, he tried landing on a certain ball, didn't get on it, which left him more work to do, and in the end he didn't get both of them.
If you weren't with us earlier on, David Hogan from Ireland won the Challenger event final in a 6-red shootout, although he didn't have to take part in a 6-red shootout. A strange one where he has a 100% record in a shootout and he's never done it.
5 frames to 1.
John Egan gave up going first. John had his chances to win the match, and then Danielle Randall has won the women's series, her first title.
Extension call.
So it's a good break from Callum. And a finish now he needs to take. Closer we get to that finish line, the more, or closer Chris gets, the more important he gets these. Can't really afford any more mistakes.
Yellow ball's in play.
Yeah, all the yellows go, but these three at the bottom left are a little bit tricky because they're all blocking each other at the moment. And now he's played that, I'm assuming he's going to try to plant the other two yellows at some point. It's just a little bit straight on this yellow into the right corner now, because I think the natural angle would probably run into the red on the bottom cushion.
That's very nice. Played on the one nearest the corner. Getting onto the next ball nicely. Unless he looks at top left. Slightly tricky, but top left's okay. It's always one of those, isn't it? You can't really afford to go too far past the straight, so you end up leaving it a little bit short.
Yeah, to go the way he's gone on this finish wouldn't have been his original plan.
And then the one gets away from him. Does the 8 ball pass the yellow to the top left? Doesn't look like it. And that's the problem ball for Chris then.
It's a possible skill shot as well here, first shot, if he wants to take it. The only thing he's got to be careful of here is to not follow the white in after the yellow.
Might play the 8 ball then. No, he has played the skill but missed it. I was thinking if he played for the full ball contact on the 8 ball and bumps it into the middle of the table, he's guaranteed to be on the one to the top right. But the added advantage of the combination is it gets rid of the yellow off the table as well. So is he looking at the long combination shot here, knowing that if he doesn't make it, he's got that top pocket and he's leaving a double at best.
Yeah, not sure how he's going to get the cue ball safe really, unless he could possibly run straight through and hide behind the red that's near the middle pocket, but I'm not sure that's on either.
I think he's just going to almost bring it back, not far off where it is now, so that he's leaving a double, but the 8 ball's not really on. And the 8 ball will be on.
Yeah, he must have felt that any sort of shot to try and develop the 8 ball there was maybe too tricky, and he's thought better odds was to leave Callum this. Certainly not an easy double, because he needs to try to get the white ball out of the way as well. He could possibly get a double kiss on this. And he's gone for the treble because of it.
And he's got it.
Oh,
great shot.
And he just got a flick on the red as he went down the table, and without that flick he might have still had a shot on the 8 ball.
This is brilliant. Watch the flick on the cue ball as well. Can't quite see it, but brilliant treble. And yeah, he's pointing his cue at the little flick. So he's going to need another big shot here.
Is he going for the treble here? Possibly a big pocket. I think he went for the... Well, I'm not sure what he went for, actually. Bit in between both.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think he did go for the treble. Just didn't quite get it right.
Yeah, and I'm really surprised to see Callum play like this as well in his final, because every time I see him play, he always seems to play to a really good standard, and he did as well against me in the semi-final. And just really struggling out there at the moment.
Yeah, he really is. I mean, he's about to go 6-1 behind. So out of the 7 frames, he's probably had 4 chances. So out of the 6 frames he's lost, he's probably had 4 chances, and 2 of them very, very good chances. And he'll be very disappointed with the level he's played.
Yeah, and Chris has also had nothing to do on any of his finishes either as well.
Chris goes 6-1 in front. He's now 2 frames away. Yeah, very disappointing for Callum to play like this in the final. It'll be the worst match he played all weekend long. He has to take heart from the fact that Luke Gilbert was in a similar position in the semi-final and was able to peg him back. Very tall order though, of course. Especially if he can come up with a break clearance here and get himself 1 away. Just makes it harder. Whatever happens though for Callum, and it will be a raw one if he is to go on and lose this, it is a great opening weekend as an Ultimate Pool professional. Especially with a lot of people kind of talking about him and saying, you know, he's one of the challengers coming up that are really expecting to impress and go well, and probably put some internal pressure on himself as well. Make a final in your opening weekend, it's very impressive. Something to build on. Good prize money and ranking points as well, if that's important to you.
Well.
That's straight in off for Chris.
Ball in hand from ball. Time in. Yellow ball's in.
Another chance for Callum, and another chance he'll feel he should get. He's all go. Everything has a pocket. The red just cleared the yellow. Right centre pocket, that's good.
Yeah, so he just... well, I thought he was going to play the one into the centre now.
I quite like this actually. I was thinking the same as Callum in terms of if you come back, now you've got right centre, bottom right corner, and the one in the middle of the table is your last ball, top left, and it wouldn't have gone with that ball there. Just bumps this out to straight, and it's just become straight, straight, straight.
Yeah, it's just a little bit hampered. Just got to make sure of the pot.
Yeah, stood up on it for a second. He wasn't sure. Went off the wide jaw. He's absolutely fine. That's better.
Frame.
Good reverse clearance. Gets another one back on the board, and quickly. Next break for him now feels quite big. Get back within 6-3. Half get Chris looking over his shoulder. He'll have fresh memories of the Luke Gilbert match as well. Not that he's showing a huge amount out there. Been a very entertaining weekend, lots of drama throughout the weekend, or 4 days as it is now. 5 tours this year. We'll be back in March, back here in Blackpool. Do it all again. Plenty more action though with Ultimate Pool TV before then. Monday night, tomorrow night, we're back with the Champions League. Jordan Shepherd in action. Mark Allen in action as well. Should be a cracker. Wednesday Masters continues. Plenty more to come.
9th frame, Callum Singleton to break. Trailing 6 frames to 2.
Oh, that's exactly what he wanted on the back of what he's just done. Is this the momentum starting to swing? This is a perfect split.
Looks like he's, from the last frame anyway, just trying to speed his game up slightly.
Which to his advantage with being 4 frames behind and the clock starting to run down. We'll be at 15 seconds a shot soon. 4 minutes 22 till then. Reds is the choice, no surprise there. I think he was playing to come a little bit further, and maybe the ready's just below, but the cue ball's just above it. He wanted that to be left centre pocket.
Yeah, I was just going to say that the key red in this frame was the one that was just below the white ball then. That's the one he's going to have most problems getting on.
If he's got the angle he wants, he'd love to draw it back to be straight left centre now. Not sure if he has that angle.
Yeah, he could possibly try to get it into the right centre after this shot.
Yeah, but he's a little bit short.
Could still be his last ball though. He could play the one into the top right corner now and come back to where he is.
Using the top cushion, or can he hold? Yeah, top cushion.
Don't want too much angle though. He's just about okay.
Yeah, he won't be able to get right behind the 8 ball, but should still be comfortable enough. Very good, back to back.
Break.
Both from the break. 6-3. Just start to get Chris looking over his shoulder, maybe. Mention Mark Allen's in action tomorrow. He won the snooker today as well, so riding high. Fantastic.
So I didn't know about that. Did he beat in the final?
Judd Trump in the final. So a great performance from Mark. Great to see him switch from the big table to the small table. We've seen that from a top snooker player before with success. Mark Selby won snooker title and a Pairs Cup title in back-to-back days. Mark Allen, no title on the line, but a group in the Champions League to try and get through. Good group as well. Really good group. Includes Jordan Shepherd, Carl Morris, Phil Parkin.
Yeah, there'll probably be a good buzz in the arena for that one tomorrow as well. I expect quite a few people probably to come and watch, knowing he's just won that tournament as well.
Yeah, and all eyes on Jordan and Carl. No love lost between those two. Might be a spicy game when they play.
I do remember watching that one actually as well.
Yeah, a little bit of a falling out in year one. Clash of personalities, shall we say. Oh, big break from Chris. Has he got a good chance? Depends on the opener. Balls flying in everywhere. First thought was yellows. Does he have an opening yellow though? Yeah, maybe. Maybe not. Well, that reaction tells me not.
Yeah, I mean the long yellow possibly goes, but if it does, I wouldn't say it's a full pocket. And the one he's nearest to goes as well, but it's very thin and the cue ball could be going anywhere.
Yellow ball's in.
Well, he has managed to get himself yellows. Needs to pull out another good one. Very good. Does the yellow below the 8 will go bottom left? Or if not, does he need to come up with another plan? Yellow off red maybe, or play for it in right centre? If he has to play for it in the right centre, it doesn't connect to the yellows at the top of the table.
Yeah, I think it does go into the bottom left. Still won't be easy to get on.
Smashing his cue up on the table. Steady on, Chris.
You find that a lot from the players as well with this new style of table.
The legs go straight down.
Yeah, the legs almost stick out, and I find myself tripping over it sometimes as well.
Yeah, the tables we've sort of got used to over the years just taper in a little bit.
Yes, assuming now he's looking to run this forward off the 2 cushions and leave that second yellow into the left corner.
Must have been tight.
If it didn't go and he's done that to develop it, then it was a great shot.
This is going to get Chris 1 frame away from the title, having lost the previous 2 frames. Even though he's 6-3 up, he'll be very pleased to put that one on the board, because Callum was just starting to mount some momentum. And important visit for Chris, you feel there, because if he didn't make that, 6-4 and Callum's break, different feel about it. But now 7-3, more breathing room, and worst way, he's going to get quite a few chances off his break to win this, so he's in a very comfortable position now, especially with the match clock really ticking down. Very much his title to lose.
Yeah, but there's about 9 minutes left, and not always Callum going to have to win at least 4 frames on the bounce. He's probably got to win them in probably 2 minutes a frame.
Which you would suggest is 4 straight finishes, which is obviously very good to do, but 15 seconds a shot, tough to do, and more than that, 4 straight chances.
Trailing 7 frames to 3.
If that happens, it's all going to happen start somewhere. So will it be here? No. Has he left anything? Possibly not.
Extension call.
Chris can take his time here though and possibly just weld the cue ball to this red and leave Callum a similar shot where he's nothing really to go at.
Yeah, probably is the right play. Just no Chris though, doesn't he? He's like fighting his natural instinct to kind of take something special on, but waits at least one turn for that.
Yeah, that was a tough shot he was trying there. He really had to be delicate with that one. And even if Chris doesn't get these, there's probably not going to be enough time on the clock anyway.
No attempt at the pot there from Chris. Just using the jaws.
We'll be surprised if Chris doesn't go for a finish now, because he would run a lot of the clock down as well.
Red ball's in.
He has gone for reds, but that hasn't worked. Nothing on from here. Callum had to try something. The clock's running down too much for him. He needs 4 frames. Doesn't matter how low a percentage it is from here. He does need to try and chase one if he gets back to the table. Well, that miss might give Callum a chance to try and chase something here. Does have a bad ball. Might be able to get into it straight away. He does, but it doesn't open up for him. Okay, might be able to go after it again. That was tough. If it goes in, good chance to win the frame, but tough cut. And Chris now has a chance to win the match and the title.
And it's been a strange final, really. It's not the final I was expecting. You know, Chris has pretty much every frame that he's won, he's hardly had any work to do, and obviously Callum's missed a few chances himself as well. Be very gutted with that as well.
Yeah, I think that's the thing, isn't it? Callum will be very disappointed with a couple of the chances he missed. There's a couple of tough chances in there that he missed early on as well, and before you know it, you're 4-0, 5-1 down, and it's a long way back against a Chris Melling who's playing well. Very good. Wasn't easy to get on that last red. Travelled a little bit too far, but he'll be happy he can see it. And uses the yellow 8-ball for the title then. And Chris Melling is a Pro Series champion once again. great run through the field. Some eye-catching and entertaining pool along the way. Maybe not the fireworks in the final, but he did everything that was asked of him. And he gets his 4th title with Ultimate Pool and goes right up to the top of the rankings. Another fantastic achievement for the 2 times world champion and now 4 times Ultimate Pool title holder.
Welcome back down to the arena for the final time this weekend. We've seen 4 great days of action, plenty of new faces, plenty of challenges coming up, but it's a familiar face that picks up our final trophy of the weekend. Before we have a few words with Chris and hand him the trophy, let's get Callum Singleton up for a few words. Callum, hard luck. I know that you'll be really disappointed because you come in here with high hopes, but as a new professional coming up through the challenges, you must be really pleased to make it all the way through to the final.
Yeah, pleased with the run and how I've played in patches today. I've probably been let off the hook a couple of times, but you can't play like that in a final and get away with it with Chris. So I know how to be top of my game. But that's why I think he's the number 1 seed. So you can't give him chances or he'll just blitz you. And the start that he got, it's going to be hard to get it back against anyone, let alone Chris. So.
Yeah, I guess it was, from your perspective, a very strange match because you got a few early chances that you weren't quite able to get to grips with, and once Chris got ahead, you tried hard to get back into it. It's hard to get back against somebody playing like that.
Yeah, definitely. Everything just felt tricky to me. There was a massive part in the game where I played the treble on the yellow, and I've just skimmed off his red and left myself a treble on a black. Which if I didn't and I had just hit the red full ball, it's 4-2 and who knows, but when he's 4-5 in front, he's just going to blitz you, so I just try keeping as close to him as I can and making a game of it. I'm more gutted that I didn't really make a game of it, but I'll be back.
Yeah, you will be back. I mean, you were brilliant last year in the Challenger Series and deep every time, winning a title. I mean, Pro Series is the same thing for you. It's one weekend, one final. Yeah,
I'll take it, but nobody remembers second, so I'll be coming back for him. You might get away with it.
Well, congratulations on a great tournament, a great first tournament with Ultimate Pool. Well, we have seen plenty of new faces, plenty of challenges come up, plenty of shocks throughout the tournament, but it's a familiar face that gets his hand on the trophy. Chris Melling, come up for a few words. Chris, congratulations. Another trophy from Ultimate Pool, your 4th. A fantastic tournament, actually, all the way through. You seemed like you were putting on a bit of an exhibition at times, and in the final it was more of a sort of clinical nature, but you must be really pleased.
Yeah, felt good all week. Won a couple of matches, 8-0, especially against Cal Morris. That was nice. That's just a bit of a joke between me and Cal. I played well all week, and you need the luck on the break, and Callum had a few chances there, but in race to 8, it's so difficult. You've got to get a good lead, a good start, and for me, Callum's, he's showing where he should be. In my opinion, he's a top 16 player, and it won't be long before he's winning these.
Yeah, well said. From your perspective, the final itself, I mean, you had to sort of mop up early on, but once you got your chances and started taking them first visit chances, there was no way back, really.
Yeah, I just felt that every time I went to the table, if they were anywhere near there, I was going to get them. There's a couple of times I played a few tactical shots, try to run the clock down a little bit, which isn't usually my style. But obviously, when 3 or 4 in front and you've got 10-15 minutes on the clock, you've got to play to your advantages. Yeah,
you absolutely have. 4th title with Ultimate Pool, joined Shane Thompson. You're now the number 1 player as well. Pretty good weekend, eh?
Yeah. To win the title and obviously finish world number 1. It's been a long time. I packed in playing for 7 years. I started playing snooker and playing 9-ball and Chinese 8-ball. I literally didn't play. Didn't have a cue. Had a cue made, and I've not looked back really. So long may it continue.
Absolutely. I'm often kind of trying to compare what you're doing now compared to what you did back in the golden era, if you like. But your game looks to be in such a great place. Maybe as good as it ever has been.
Yeah, it's a bit of a funny one because in my mind, I don't think I'm playing as I used to do. Maybe that's because I've slowed down a little bit and you get battle scars throughout the years. So you have to change your game to suit the rules as well. But all in all, I think I'm probably playing as good as I have done, but I don't think I pot as good as I used to do.
You're certainly giving us some very magic moments. You kind of highlight reel all weekend long.
Yeah, I've had probably 5 or 6 crazy shots, and luckily for me, they've gone in. There's been 1 or 2 that have missed, but all in all, a great week, and just like to congratulate all the winners and runners up, and can't wait for the next one.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think it's time to get you the trophy. Let's bring in Neil Toms, Tournament Director, hand the trophy to Chris Melling, your champion.